How's it going, everybody? It's time for more comic book breakdown stuff. It's Garrett and Charlie. You know,
The
first of
Good
all,
Brothers.
we are the Good Brothers. This is Brother Brother Radio, brought to you by the Brother Brother Radio Network. All right. So first of all, how are you today, Charlie?
Doing pretty good, feeling pretty tired. But hey, always waking up to talk some movie, some action. You know how it is.
All right. So yeah, I mean, so we got some stuff today. We've been kind of behind on our tracking, our coverage. That's not how you say that. Our coverage of the news, but we're here with some stuff that's been announced since our I mean, you can call it hiatus, since we've really been busy to do this. So first we're gonna hit with the big thing in the title, which is Marvel's tapping of Dong-seok. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. To be in the Eternals movie, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't know who he'd be playing necessarily. I'm sure people have speculated already, but so I feel like all of our coverage has been Eternals related recently, but that's because it's honestly shaping up to be a really interesting movie so far.
Yeah,
Like,
for
I'm
real.
actually super into this movie without knowing really much about the premise.
Agreed, man. It's like when you're getting, I don't know, something about when you're getting information like this, and it adds on to that excitement, really. So lead
Like, I
on.
don't want to put a stamp of approval on this thing yet or anything, but if the cast shapes up to be, if the actors aren't necessarily just phoning it in on this, they're like actually going for some interesting stuff, we could really see an interesting thing coming. So we've seen Marvel do some really good stuff in the past.
Facts. Oh, Dong-seok, South Korean. Yeah, he's won a lot of awards, dude. Even recently, 2018 Best Actor for The Outlaws. I mean, if you're winning Best Actor, that's what we need.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's actually really great. That's a good award to have. And I mean, so the reason why I'm interested in the guy is because it's that movie Train to Busan, which is a zombie movie, which is really interesting premise. Excuse me, but like yeah, I want to see that movie, and I think it might be one of the streaming services, so I'll check that out. But I definitely think if they're pulling an action star to be in a movie that is supposed to span thousands of years, allegedly, maybe that's be something that would be really interesting. And I was just thinking about that actually. If they do that Flash Gordon style, where like it cuts in and out of like different stories from the same group of people, like kind of like in the style of flashbacks, but it's more like telling the history of a group to kind of expand on the history of the Marvel cosmic universe. I think that would actually be really cool.
This is true. Also with the Eternals, I don't think we hit this. Kind of broke around WrestleMania. The other actor announced was that Kumail Nanjiani. He's doing a movie with Dave
He's just
Bautista.
killing it lately.
He was actually at WrestleMania, right?
Was he at? He was at Mania. I
I
mean, I wouldn't be
remember there
surprised
was
if
there was
Kunal is
someone,
a. I think he was in the crowd actually.
he
Maybe they
was,
showed him.
because he's doing a movie with Batista, and he was there doing the entrance with him. But yeah, they
That's
also
right. That's right.
pegged him for the movie. So now we got 3 actors already, pegged for the movie, that's a good sign. Like we were
Speaking
saying.
of which, we did speculate already, and just so we clear something up, so when we get to a different story, when an actor is reportedly in talks for something, they're usually pretty close to signing on, but it could still go one way or the other. For people that don't necessarily know how the industry works, so that's just a common phrase I think that entertainment reporters kind of use to designate that this is close to happening, but it's not really sure. But we do know for sure that Angelina Jolie is going to be in the movie now, playing Sersi, I believe. But like, yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's actually been confirmed, but like Sersi is, I mean, it would make sense. Like,
Which would be one of the really like the 2 main characters that they'd be going with. So I just we had talked about it before, but just the fact that Angelina Jolie can just jump in this, like, I don't know, that's such a.
well, this is a
I'm very excited
MCU
for
that's
that.
got actors like Jeff Goldblum and oh my gosh, he plays the smuggler in Benicio del Toro. Gosh, I'm so glad I got to that. I mean, it's like on the level of Star Wars at this point, where Star Wars can just have like famous actors come in, play for a movie, and then never come back, and be a key part of the story, and then just leave. I mean, I feel like the MCU is like that at this point. Kate Blanchett as Hela. I mean, you know what I mean? Experienced actors can step into these roles. And
the guy who played Ego, I don't want to say the wrong one. I get it mixed up. Was it Russell Crowe?
No, sorry. It's oh gosh. You now you
I
made
know
me
it's a
forget.
super big actor. I get some of those guys so mixed up. Hey,
it'll be like such terrible people for not knowing this.
Those of you who know Garrett,
it's Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, there it is. See, I had the Russell part right.
From New York, don't kill me.
I had the Russell part right. See, hey man, those names.
Well, no, because my brain was even more scrambled because I was talking about Get Him to the Greek today with somebody, which has Russell Brand in it.
God,
makes my brain even worse. You know,
it's the name Russell, man. That's what it is.
It's a common name, and it rolls off the tongue well. I get why actors use it, but yeah. Moving on. Outside of Angelina Jolie being confirmed, I thought that was just interesting to follow up on a story we previously hit.
Facts.
So I was thinking, I've been wanting to hear news about for a while, and a lot of people don't agree with me. A lot of people did not like the first Doctor Strange movie, but I'm actually really interested to see what we can get in a sequel, especially if Cargill comes back to write and we get director back as well, which I think the director did sign on, right? I could be wrong about that.
Yes, no, you're correct.
All this news just gets caught in my head, Charlie. I have no idea whether I can verify half. But
it's okay. True. there's so much, you know what I mean? It's just every day there's news on top of news. So sometimes, you know.
Yeah, that'd be covered for months now, which is interesting. But yeah, so the director is back. As I'm assuming Benedict Cumberbatch has signed back on for it. And maybe not. Maybe we'll get a new Doctor Strange. Who knows? But
maybe Doctor Strange won't ever come back. Boom, boom, boom.
No, if there's that's the story, is that it's the sequel is potentially next year. So potentially he's not gone, but that doesn't mean that like maybe Benedict doesn't want to continue to play the role for whatever reason. I don't know why he wouldn't want money, but you know, and I mean, if it is an alternate world, him looking different wouldn't be weird, I guess. I mean, it'd be weird to the audience, but it wouldn't be weird like in context, I guess.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in a sequel that soon, Charlie, after the end of Endgame?
Yeah, so that'd be what, coming out in 2020? That'd be 4 years. I'm down with it, man. I'm with you. I personally, I really enjoyed the Doctor Strange movie. I feel like it's different from all the other Marvel movies in a sense. I don't know. You really end up rooting for Doctor Strange by the end of it, you know? So I feel like that's, to me, you've established a good baby face to root for, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, wrestling term. Well, who's the heel then? Is Baron Mordo his heel?
Yeah, man, that dude that took a heel turn at the end.
That was the, you know what?
That was the heel turn.
Cargill must be a wrestling fan.
I don't know, the girl he was with, forget the name.
She's got a subtle heel turn that she's building up in her.
She was a tweener at points, you know. So,
I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, she does a full, like, there was a tag team breakup angle in there.
All right, do you consider the Ancient One a heel?
Ancient One is a tweener, absolutely. Ancient One is like Stone Cold and completely in appearance and everything.
Man, those of you who love wrestling that are listening to this, you are probably
sorry, Marvel people that have no idea what we're talking about, and DC people as well that came from our Shazam review. We appreciate all of you. We do a wrestling show weekly called the VE Squadcast with our brother Brady,
the ultimate brother,
the original brother, one might say.
Oh, Matt Riddle?
Oh no, that's the original bro. The original brother might be Hulk Hogan, actually, but anyway, yeah, we've completely derailed from the Marvel talk. All right, let's jump to the next story. So let's hit this one before we hit the last one, which is we'll just hit this one. So you noticed, and I heard this story reported actually after you had told it to me. So if we had done something, like if I had just done a quick video about it, we would have been like one of the first ones on it. But so the new Mutants movie is on Marvel's release schedule for this year, which would suggest that they're not going to get a chance to do reshoots, which is not good for that movie because people like Macy Williams are coming out and talking about it, and it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It really is tough too because with I'm assuming since you started watching Game of Thrones now, you recognized someone from the trailer of Dark Phoenix.
Oh yeah, it just
clicked in your head.
Right? Yep.
Yeah. All right. So So I mean, yeah. So it sucks that Macy Williams might not get the opportunity to exist in a Marvel property for at least a little while because she's actually, I think, a really good actress. Um, and I mean, most of the Game of Thrones actors that have gone on to do other stuff. I mean, look at Gwendolyn Christie in the Star Wars universe, various other actors in every other part of the universe. And it's just like I
Well,
would like to see. Go ahead.
I also just realized off of New Mutants, Charlie Heaton is in Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, that's a cast of people. That's the kind of cast they were going for. Was that
Stranger Things and Game of Thrones. I'm telling you, these people are going to be actors in other gigs for like life. Like you seem connected like everywhere now, which is awesome.
HBO and Netflix have given people the opportunities that other places would never have. So, and that's interesting coming from a guy that knows how television is hard to work in, just from studying it recently and as part of this. And it's a lot of guesswork and trying to figure out what the audience wants. And it's just a scenario, I think, where Marvel has figured it out to some degree.
We just had a Game of Thrones guy announce his Batman and Titans playing the old Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I heard about that as well. That's pretty cool. I didn't write that down. I don't know why. Yeah, I might. The cat's going crazy. Oh my goodness.
I wasn't sure. I thought I was just hearing stuff. I don't know.
No, oh my god, has the cat been going crazy the whole time? That's insane. All right, whatever.
Hey man, it adds some flair. Am I right? Woo!
Oh my god.
I believe.
All right, moving on from the cat.
Lane Glenn. I can't really tell if that's an I or an L.
Is he the okay? So is it?
I've definitely seen him. So he's early on.
Is it Jorah? Is that who he plays?
Glenn. It sounds about right.
It might not be him. He plays one of the characters.
Actor behind Jorah in Game of Thrones cast as Batman and DC's Titans. You are correct, sir.
My brain is so scattered with actors and facts about these things. All right.
Exactly. Well, hey, we were just talking about it, so it's kind of cool. Cool for Titans.
Yeah, I
really do like that show.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't. I want to get the DC streaming service. I can't afford all these streaming services, Charlie. I know I'm gonna need to get like 2 jobs.
Insane, bro. There's just so many.
Well, I mean, the DC one has 2 things. I want to see the Young Justice show as well, and eventually when the Teen Titans comes back. I mean, there's so many things I want to watch, Charlie. How am I ever going to watch all this stuff and review all of it?
On top of that, you get weekly wrestling. It's like, oh, there's just so much to watch.
Wrestling, I find a way to slot that in no matter what. It's just like other stuff I just don't have time for. Like wrestling is my late night thing, but like everything else, I have no idea. Like I haven't watched like the last 11 episodes of Star Wars Resistance. Like I have no idea when I'm going to catch up on that. And there's stuff I know I want to see in that. Like
that's like.
By the way, people who I know I'm going to be super late on that. I am going to do a review on that when I finally get done with that.
Good brother Rick and I fell behind on the Archie comic show Riverdale.
I heard that it got not as good. I'm not sure about that. But
so the new season it kind of drifted, but then they brought in Chad Michael Murray, who's another great actor, and they brought him in, and now he's kind of like the main heel. So I guess it's kind of taken another turn. But Archie comics. You ever read Archie comics?
No. So I watched the show. So no, I do know that there's connections to stuff that I did see, which is like the Sabrina stuff, which I thought was cool. But when I heard that was a possible crossover, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the guy that they have playing that Archie,
I'll watch the show, and then go figure. After I hear that news, like 2 weeks later, my teacher assigns me homework. Watch an episode of Riverdale. Watch an episode of what was that show? The one where it was like the guy that got accused of stuff. Anyway, but yeah, and then we had to watch 2 shows, and it was part of a project we did. And so I know the show. I wasn't into it, and he was actually shocked that I wasn't into it. Because it was
Riverdale.
But I was more into the other stuff because I was like, there's this not, and I thought there'd be more fantastical elements to it. I guess I don't know, but
yeah, that's kind of what the new stuff is. It's yeah,
and I think that's where it's losing some of the people that didn't think it was that show.
They just thought it's
be that, and I'm now not going to watch it probably because they tried to sell it to a different audience. Same problem happened in another show I like. I was sidetracked, but I'll go on this little tangent for a second. A show I really like called Shadowhunters. Which is based on a series called Mortal Instruments, which is a really good book series, young adult book series that I started reading back in like the mid 2000s, and I just recently finished like a couple years ago. But I had finished my collection of all the books, and I just got like the last one recently, but I wanted to watch the last season of the show because it got revived for like 10 episodes to finish out the show because it got killed in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they just really came back with 10 more episodes to like finish out the last 2 books worth of material, basically. Which means the show's never gonna it's never gonna ever be what it could be. The reason why the show even got made was because everyone was like, okay, let's make this movie of this book series. We'll just do one movie per book, and people hated it. So they were like, okay, let's make a TV show, and then people hated it. So it's like because they didn't do a very good job either time with the casting or the way that they went about it, it didn't work out. And then you compare that and contrast that with something like DC's streaming service right now, or Netflix, or Marvel, and they just can't understand how that can even happen in this day and age, you know?
True.
But anyway, I digress. Let's move on to our last story. Probably coming up on time here, but this is just some more Black Widow news. We've been covering this as well. Rachel Weisz and K. Harbour are in talks for roles independently of each other. I don't know why I put them together like that. Makes it sound like they're related or something, but no. Yeah, I mean, so you looked up Rachel Weisz. I don't know what she said some stuff about what stuff she's been in.
So yeah, it looks like if the movie The Favorite is what she's often
connected with. I knew it was something to do with the Oscars. All right.
Yep.
All right, go ahead. So
yeah, she played Lady Sarah in The Favorite. Also known for, it says, The Lobster. The Contestant Gardener, and she played it in The Mummy.
Interesting. Okay,
so yeah, she won an Oscar, so it must have been for that movie, huh?
Yeah. All right, interesting. Yeah. So I don't know if it was for The Favorite, but maybe
she won an Oscar in 2006 for the Constant Gardener.
Oh, it must have been maybe it was a supporting actor, not or a lead actress. I don't know, but or supporting actress, I guess it would be. But no, yeah. So you said that you knew David Harbour from Stranger Things, though.
Yeah, David Harbour is the sheriff in Stranger Things. He's just recently Hellboy.
So heel or face? Obviously, he's a face in Hellboy, but whether he was in Stranger Things.
I think so far he's a baby face. I would think.
Are we talking? Is he APA type cop, or is he? Are we talking about the Shield brother? Or are we talking about?
It seems like a cop that's got like a deep background
type cop.
He's like a good brother cop that's got he's got a deep background, you know. So it's like, I'm also noticing he was in Suicide Squad as Dexter Tolliver, so it wasn't a really big role, but
okay. I do think I remember him in that. I think I remember seeing him in various roles. I don't know what he was.
He was a lot of people wanted to be in the Marvel universe, and it's awesome that he is now, or potentially.
One suggested for Doom. I don't know. Obviously, he wouldn't be playing Doom, but
it's just
Doom would actually be a great villain for if they can't get the Fantastic Four right away, but they want to still introduce Doom. They could always throw him against Doctor Strange, because they both have those mystical powers. But anyway, aside from that, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see these movies that are shaping up, if they really are gonna be with all these different actors and actresses. Like, I'm just picturing it in my head. He's a villain in this movie, obviously. I can't see him being like a good guy in this, you know.
Don't see the baby face?
Not in Black Widow.
Big, no. Man. Like, he looks tall. I think he's tall, dude.
I don't think in Black Widow you have a dude be one of the main heroes. I'm just saying. I could be wrong about that. Marvel could be completely thinking differently than me. I listened to an interview on Collider today where they talked to a guy who's making a movie about a Latino superhero, and they wanted to put a Caucasian influence on it. So that was the studio's influence right there. So
maybe David Harbour is the Taskmaster.
That would be interesting. I would like him to actually be played by somebody, not just like a CGI thing like they do with Hulk, and because he would be big enough to do it, but I just don't think you need to do that with Taskmaster. You can practically do it and just make him look a little bit bigger in After Effects. But anyway, aside from that, I just don't think you have him be. I mean, again, like I said, I could be wrong. They could find a way to do it that I don't think about. But I'm thinking you have him as one of the villains, or even one of the good guys, and then you have Rachel Weisz as like the mentor that kind of trains her when she's in Russia or whatever she's supposed to be in. Like the training.
I wonder if they'll show Black Widow getting injected with serum. Like, I wonder if they're going to bring that in.
I think there'll be a huge emotional scene where she gets like because there's that huge scene in Ultron where she talks about not being able to have kids. I bet that'll be a huge thing. Like that'll be one of the climax moments of the movie, probably. While the movie climaxes and whatever she's doing in the present day is happening, because I don't see this being. Everyone's like, it's either going to be a prequel or it's going to be a sequel to whatever's going on. I don't see why it can't be both. Why she can't be trying to do something like she was doing in Winter Soldier, where the plot's being progressing. Except we also, instead of learning stuff more about Cap like we did, and what happened with Bucky and going those flashbacks, we do that with her this time.
Yeah, getting like
And
yeah,
maybe
agreed.
Cap is dead, then Bucky and Falcon are her team at that point. And I don't know whoever else they have that still sticks around with them. You know what I mean?
And
yeah.
we were talking before, like, hope maybe they'll give us the actor of Shang-Chi in this. Like, maybe we'll just see him real quick.
Well, I've heard people suggest this is another Kojandro thing. He thinks Shang-Chi could be in that alternate universe with Ronin Hawkeye.
Ooh, I can't wait to see how they play him off, man.
Like in that universe.
Less than a week until Endgame, man. I know everyone here is excited.
He also thinks that alternate universe might have the X gene in it, which would be interesting. Because the thing is, if they go super dark with Endgame, you might not be able to bring them back, and you have to go to alternate timeline where there is the Avengers still.
Kind of like what they did in Spider-Verse, how they teased how you could really bring in other people.
Oh no,
the audience used to that.
Deadpool teased it too. You can rewrite history.
Yeah.
So, not that Deadpool's connected to all this, but it might be. So, yeah, okay. So, that's pretty much all we had to talk about. It was a good conversation, though. There was a lot of stuff that I'm sure we missed that we could have covered, but these were just the things that really stuck out to us. It's funny because when there's not as much, news to talk about, like next week we'll have all kinds of stuff to talk about because that's when the movie comes out.
Oh yeah, man, the end game stuff. Can't wait.
And when we get to that point, it'll be all this build up. My only worry is that we've been building this up in our head for like more or less 2 years because we knew there was going to be a second movie. Like everyone knew because this was originally supposed to be 2 parts, but then they were like, nah. I assume what they did was they took some of what was going to be the beginning part of the next movie, and then they put the snap right before that, basically. And then that was like the last scene of Thanos on the planet. That was supposed to be what was originally going to be part of the next movie, maybe opening or something. Maybe you were going to get that comic panel payoff then, and there was going to be something else going on beforehand. But because I can see a scenario if they didn't want to go super dark where he doesn't win, but he doesn't snap, but he still wins. Because he doesn't need to snap to win. That's just his like ultra victory. Like once Thor fails, he's like, "This is your punishment, basically.
You have been punished.
This is what you get for not doing your job right, Thor."
Wait, just a random little side note. We do know that there has been a pitch for Thor 4 with Taika Waititi directing. So,
that's been for a while. I think he said that he wants to do a sequel if he can. He's not holding out for it if he can't get it, but he's going to try.
I'm so down if Thor gets a 4th. That Ragnarok is one of my favorites.
If any of the main 3 have to live, I think Thor, with how Ragnarok rejuvenated the character, I think he deserves at least one more movie. Even if it's like...
We need love for Korg, man. Well,
yeah, right? Like, if we don't get that addressed in this movie, what happened to them, that's going to be kind of annoying.
Those little side characters in Ragnarok, you just fall in love with, man.
It sucks because they didn't have room for them in Ragnarok, and that's why they weren't in any of the marketing leading up to the movie because they knew they weren't going to have them. And they kind of, I think, have a throwaway line where they kind of mentioned that they left to go somewhere else to try and, like, save some of the people because Thanos only kills half the people or whatever. And I'm assuming that at the point Thor, Loki, and Heimdall were just trying to win the battle at that point so they could meet back up with the others or whatever.
Yeah.
Because if not, presumably they were on the ship when it crashed.
And they got slaughtered.
Yeah, which would not be a good idea. Also, what happened to the ship? Did it just crash into Earth?
Uh-oh. With the Guardians, and when they were flying through it.
No, I'm just saying, like, still.
Yeah.
No, but anyway.
The atmosphere.
So something we haven't considered is there's going to be a huge plot point in this movie where there's going to be a bunch of people that died as a result of things that didn't have to do with the actual snap itself. So, like, you remember how there was that scene at the end of Endgame or Endgame, end of Infinity War, where you see a helicopter crash into a building because of the snap. The people in that building that didn't get snapped aren't going to come back, even if you reverse the snap.
This is true.
And there's going to be countless deaths like that that don't get reversed because they can't be. And like, how do you move on from that? Because that's a realization someone, I'm assuming it'll be probably Tony, because it usually comes to realizations that are dark like this, you know, especially if you're like Civil War.
Gotta love the Tony Stark character.
So dynamic, so unique. Um, and and kind of the epicenter of the MCU for a long time too.
Yeah, our the golden boy.
But all that aside, that's going to be something that'll be interesting to see. All right, we're going pretty long here. The discussion's been good, but should probably wrap this up here because we've kind of been rambling for like the last 10 minutes.
Facts.
But it's
Good
been
brother
good stuff.
podcast.
Yeah. So hey, what's going on, guys? It's still Basoki here. It's Duke. I'm just here to give you a little update on the future video coming out tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be doing our Avengers Endgame review. Right after we get out of the movie at like 1 or 2 in the morning, whatever time we get out, we'll be going around 10. So probably around then, if it is 3 hours like they say. But I'm in the middle of, and I'll just show you really quickly. I'm in the middle of the edit. I'm started in the middle of the process of editing, and I'm going to make this little video to let you guys know that look out for that review coming tomorrow. This is the last like Marvel-centered video we're going to be doing before that, and we probably will have stuff coming in the days after. So also look forward to future casting videos. We decided to do them, but thanks for tuning in this week, guys, and make sure you comment and subscribe, hit the little bell so you know when we go live, and we'll see you all next time.